to war. Who's calling us home? And into the combat zone we roll. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's Mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in the Buffalo combat zone. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's Mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in the Buffalo combat zone.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Welcome to Victory Monday in the Buffalo Combat Zone. We are your hosts, Alex, and Randall, or Alex, Miley, and Randall, however you want to say it. What's up, fellas?
What's going
Always
on?
Victory Monday when you're a Bills fan.
Yeah, man. We might have 17 of these bad boys, man.
20 of them.
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels good,
Didn't
man.
the Packers just get knocked for doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talking about going undefeated?
We're
Yeah.
not players, though, man. We don't have to get in the
Yeah.
zone. We can enjoy it. Yeah.
We also don't have a quarterback that'll put up 10 points against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
Fair-
that was
fair
rough.
point.
No, I would say the Browns are a good defense, man. I mean,
You're right.
I
No,
mean,
they will.
they look good
Vito
against the
Park-
Ravens until the very end.
Yep.
Until Lamar decided to stat pad for MVP because he's
Yeah.
shameless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got mad about that, too. I was watching that show, the Bobby Baltimore guy who does their stuff. And he has that girl in there all the time. And she was angry that people were trying to say he was stat pad. I'm like, dude, it was like 37 to like 10.
It was a
Why are
clear
you
stat
pa-
pad.
Yeah. Why are
Yeah.
you passing touchdowns?
He put a
Right.
touch. Yeah, it scored a touchdown when they're up 34-10 with like 5 minutes left in the game. When I
Yeah.
see Lamar passing touchdown, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's the only time it makes any sense is a playoff game.
In fact, we haven't done very little of that in the last 2 years. So, I mean,
No.
since Dorsey left, we haven't done much of that kind of late game padding stuff. I mean, if it is, it's in the
Not at
third
all.
quarter, and then
Right.
Allen sits for the fourth. It's not a pad, really. It's like, what do you want him not to score? Like, you want him to have enough reps, you know?
Bingo.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all's thought? Oh, before we get going, we see 11 in the building. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment. We will respond to your comments throughout the show if you do send one on. What did y'all think of the game?
I'll go first. I was at the game as I'm at all the home games with Seasons. I thought offense was great. I'm not too worried about the offense. I get the concern, but I do truly believe that after what happened last year against the Chiefs in the playoffs, where both sides of the ball said that the Chiefs threw stuff at them they hadn't seen, that we're doing that this year, especially after beating the Ravens week 1, and we have this easier stretch of games coming up. I really believe that Joe Brady is hiding stuff right now because of what happened last year. I don't think the offense, the playbook even opens up till the Chiefs game, and maybe it doesn't even open up fully in the Chiefs game because that's what happened last year is we opened it up too early because we were fighting for that 1 seed. This year, we already kind of have the 2 teams that we thought were going to be our biggest contenders. One we already beat, and the other one's already 2 games behind us. So, and with how easy your schedule is, we kind of have, this is the easiest path to the 1 seed Allen's ever had. So that is why I believe that we're kind of playing it safe on offense right now. We trust that even with a vanilla offense, Josh can go put 30 points on the board, which he's done the last 2 weeks. And then defensively, I'm kind of just hoping and praying that the reinforcements come back, and that's the difference maker, because that defense is scaring me. I didn't like what I saw. Trey White's cooked. The pass rush is not where I want it to be. The run defense I thought was decent, but Miami's offensive line sucks. So, I mean, it's not really much of a test. I will give DaQuan Jones credit. I've been a huge hater of him. As everyone knows, he played pretty decent. I'll give it to him. If I'm going to hate on someone, I will give them credit where it's due, and he played a pretty decent game. Granted, Miami might have the worst line in the league, so there's a grain of salt, but it's better to see him play good than bad, so I will give him that. And I mean, outside of that, Dalton Kincaid breakout season, like I predicted. I really thought the blocking was going to come alive, and it has. I mean, you saw on that touchdown to Shakir, he pile drove that corner into the ground, which is exactly what we want to see. I don't need him blocking Myles Garrett, but I do need him on run plays or screen plays to be able to handle corners and linebackers, and he's shown he can do that this year. So that's great. James Cook looks like he took that next step into earning that money that some people thought might have been a little too much. He right now could, after 3 weeks, he could possibly be some people's offensive player of the year pick, and it wouldn't even be that far-fetched.
I agree.
I mean, when it comes down to the defense, like, I get it that the defense didn't look good and Trey White looked cooked. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that. But really, Miami built on it against a divisional opponent. I do think that we came into that game a little soft overall. I think that we were riding a little bit, and being home against the Miami Dolphins on a short week showed in a little bit of that, to be honest with you. Like, for instance, I think the biggest thing that came down to with our defense was that we had 12 total missed tackles. And 10 of those missed tackles were from linebackers and DBs. So if the running back or the wide receiver got past the defensive line and then we were missing a tackle, that's where those explosive games came. And that's where I think maybe a short week and us being a little cocky going into that game was kind of an issue when it came to the defense. DaQuan Jones did have the best game, to be honest with you, out of it. What's pretty concerning is Greg Rousseau. I think he led in 6 pressures, but when it came to the all-22, I think 5 of them didn't matter, to be honest with you. AJ Epinesa had 3 pressures, and 2 of them came on 3rd downs that turned into 4th downs. So I had tweeted out that AJ Epinesa was a ghost throughout the game, and I was wrong. It was actually Greg Rousseau. And Greg Rousseau really needs to take a step going into this season. I know we're only 3 games deep, but he should at least have some production when it comes out of it. And his run defense is average at best when that's his strong point. I really enjoyed what I saw out of Zion Logue. I think Zion Logue was kind of an anchor when it came down to it. He kept his gap and integrity at all times and let everybody else do their job around them. And that's kind of a practice elevation that I kind of like to see, sort of thing. So overall, I think our defense wasn't as bad as we should make it out to be, especially because it was a short week against a divisional opponent. Mike McDaniels in the second half was in his bag when it came down to it. That 3rd and 4th down was impressive. That I loved it. And I was sitting on the other side, sort of thing. He knew what he was doing on that. He knew he got our number. He knew that Joey Bosa was getting tired, doing 85% of the snaps, so pass rush was not that big of a deal. And Waddle cooked Trey, and we know that, so that's an issue. We need Hairston back. And Christian Benford did not have any physicality on Tyreek Hill at the line of scrimmage. And we play Tyreek Hill twice a year. How are you not putting an initial punch on Tyreek Hill at the line of scrimmage so then you can rough up their timing in between him and Tua? And I think that was a big issue as well. A lot of that timing for Tyreek Hill was perfect because he could, Christian Benford's a 4.56 guy. So
I think it's 4.51.
4.51. So when it came down to it, to even that out, is you got to initially hit him at the line of scrimmage. So then he's got to work with that. He's a small dude. He'll get put off his rocker for sure. But that's what I saw in the defense. I think the defense, and Miley, you're 100% correct. We need those reinforcements without a doubt, especially because 85% snap count for Joey Bosa is not okay. We need to get that back. We just need to survive until we get Hoyt and Ogunjobi and Oliver, of course.
And
I think
Milano
too,
and Hairston.
Yeah,
Hairston's big.
I think 2 pieces of what you just said makes sense. I think there's a reason for it though. Like with Trey White, Are we really sure that other than the All-Pro year that this isn't kind of normal for him to get burned by fast dudes? Like I feel like
No.
we've seen this. I feel like we've seen a lot, especially when he's playing man. Like he's a zone corner. I think that this is not that surprising. I thought he's tackled pretty well again. I felt like he is doing his job the best he can. I'm not saying I'm a big Trey guy, but I've had frustrations with Trey even before he left the first time after the first injury. And I felt like he's just not a guy who keeps up with speed receivers ever. Like I've never seen him keep up. Even early in his career, he wasn't keeping up with speed guys. He's a good, solid corner. He did make some missteps in this game. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't that surprised by this. Like this is just kind of who he is, in my opinion.
I thought 2023 pre-Achilles, I thought he was looking back to All-Pro form, but
maybe. I mean, I'm not saying even. I feel like even All-Pro Trey, he had that one elite year where it was just like I thought it was just an outlier year. I mean, I thought he was good before that, but I mean, not like defensive player of the year level like he had that year.
yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely lower, and like his variances are higher. Like he's doing it more often for sure, because it's just he can't. Even when he runs, you see how he like kind of shuffles his feet when he's running behind people. He doesn't like fully extend his knees or anything when he's running now. It's almost like straight leg shuffles when he runs. But the other piece that you brought up that I thought is interesting that I noticed as well was McDaniel. I think part of the problem in that game was we had a game plan that was suitable for a Tua that wasn't going to get outside the pocket. And I think they made a concerted effort to let him be a little freer in that way in the game. Like he ran a few more times than usual. He got out of the pocket a few times, and he's not fast, or sometimes he'll sneak by you, you know? And I felt like they did it more often than they had in the past. And I think that maybe put the defense of like, whoa, we just planned for him to sit there and take shots, you know? And I think that part of it was that I agree on the run defense, although the numbers don't look great. I don't have a really big problem with it. I think that part of the game plan was to allow them to run a little bit in order to take kind of pressure off the back end. And I don't know if we'll go over the all 22 here in a bit, but I didn't notice the safeties, and that's a good thing. You know, like I didn't notice anything. Like usually in the games, safeties are easy to point out in pass defense. And I never looked at the screen and yelled and, you know, like I did last year a bunch of times. I didn't see a lot of big time mistakes other than the wrap hit, friendly fire hit. Like
Once again,
just same shit every week.
I know. Can I say something with the safeties?
Yeah.
Okay. First, Aaron Young there, Shaq Thompson, great game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
agree.
That hit on that screen. Whoo,
Absolutely.
That was the highlight of the defense.
Is there a
on that hit.
discussion for him to start over Dorian?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I wouldn't.
I would say there's a discussion.
I don't know. I don't think we saw enough.
Yeah.
I just love Dorian as that LB3.
myself.
I just love Dorian as that LB3. That's why I would say there's a discussion. I think his value there is LB3, where he can just have no responsibilities other than just go run after the ball. I think as LB2, he has got more pass coverage responsibilities, which I don't really love to see out of him.
Although I didn't see him get into a lot of trouble during the game.
I'm not saying he looked bad at pass coverage. I just
thought it looked better than
from what I've seen, he can be a liability there.
Sure.
I just think he's at his best when it can just be like find ball, get ball.
My main concern with Shaq playing would be that I prefer him to be the backup to Terrell Bernard if he goes out over injuries. And I just think that Buffalo Joe's I like him. He's a good story. I don't really want to see him make hit. I don't want to see him on the field. You know,
he's a good special teamser.
He is. Yeah. I just don't want to see him start a middle linebacker.
Except for on that opening kickoff. He was pretty bad in that opening kickoff.
Our special teams defense was not good on those returns. I think Malik Washington had a day.
Yeah, and he's a good returner though. He's a really good returner.
He's a very good returner. But the safeties, real quick, I want to shout out Cole Bishop, because I think my first favorite was Shaq Thompson on that TFL, and then Cole Bishop had a connection with Trey White. I tweeted it out this morning, where Cole Bishop recognized the orbit motion, and then Cole Bishop noticed it, told Trey, because Trey was pulling back into a cover three. He said, go back, push back. Trey looked back, did it, and then got that TFL. You look at that play, and then you're like, okay, Cole Bishop, once you replace Taylor Rapp, those having a better counterpart next to Cole Bishop is where he will flourish. And I just don't think that Rapp and Bishop are a good duo. He just needs somebody better next to him.
They're just too similar.
Randall, I got a quick question for you. So we know Bishop's more of like a strong safety box type of guy. If he replaces Rapp after this year, who are the free safeties in the draft that the Bills should target?
So Keon Saab from Alabama is a really good general. He's kind of like an Xavier Watts guy, but with bigger length. He kind of almost plays like Micah Hyde. Like you can play like he's got some cornerback in him, but he's better but he's a better safety, right?
Yeah.
So I really like him. And then from Toledo, there's a guy from Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, is a safety that's already getting top 100 buzz coming out of him, especially from Toledo. So that's impressive. He's a strong safety that you can pull into the free safety business. A lot of strong safeties. We won't be able to get Caleb Downs for sure.
Yeah.
The other counterpart, Bray Hubbard's an option. Michael Taft from Texas. He was a walk-on, turn free safety. He could be somebody that would be in line as well.
Are you sure? Are we even sure that Caleb Downs is really a free safety type of player either? Like, I don't see him play free safety very often.
Well, for me, I just think he's such a generational
he can
level
do
safety.
it. Yeah,
he
he
just
can
put him
clearly
anywhere.
athletic.
It's kind of like Kyle Hamilton. He wasn't always the perfect fit where the Ravens just play him anywhere because he's on the field. He makes plays.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's transition a little bit. Before we get into like actually, let's talk about the all 22 that you saw, Randall. I have some things I want to like play off of it and ask you questions about. One of the things that I think is important to note is that, and this is what a lot of people are doing, they're talking about the Dolphins playing a lot of cover 2, cover 4, stuff like that. And that's the reasoning why we're not taking shots, right? I wish people would go a little deeper into, regardless if they get the ball, what kind of separation our receivers are getting down the field, even if the shots miss because there's an easier completion and more of a positive gain in front of them. Guys like Keon and guys like Palmer getting down the field, getting open. Maybe Allen's thrown the ball already, right? But still seeing like how will it look once we do need to do this? Because people will play this against us all year because of Allen's arm strength. It's not going to be anything else except for the arm strength that he has. People will play us like this no matter who the receivers are. So I guess the question's going to be, from what you saw, how did the receivers look past, the intermediate to deep part of the field? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So this kind of gets into Miley's point as well. So this is where I kind of want to have a discussion with you guys as well when I was watching it, because I do believe that most of the game plan was made as Mike McDaniels is going to set in too high. So that's where it came through. I only saw probably about real time, like maybe Josh Allen look at him for go routes, probably like three of them. Yeah. And they were covered in too high anyways. One was a clear out for a couple that was probably the most annoying offensive play that I've seen. But when I saw a single high, there was probably about 6 total opportunities where Josh Allen could have hit the intermediate without a doubt. It was a lot of Kincaid on the bend, or it was a lot of deep comebacks where they were sitting there. There was probably about 5 opportunities where he could have thrown the ball 15 air yards or more for sure.
Yeah. Didn't
take any of them. They were open, a lot of separation. Now, with that being said, Elijah Moore and Josh Palmer separate naturally. They do. They aren't the best separators, but they have enough separation to where if you throw it, it'll be a little tight, but they can catch the ball, and maybe not a lot of yak, but that happens. Now with Keon, Kincaid, and Knox, it's more by design by Joe Brady, and the design is impressive, to be honest with you. So kudos to Joe Brady opening up that intermediate. So when it comes to, if we're marrying separation and play design by Joe Brady, I do believe that we have enough in the bag to give those intermediate and deep shots. With that being said, Miley, I really do hope, because at this point, history does not tell us that Buffalo hides plays to the playoffs, right? I don't think that they've really kept a big playbook to do it. And I understand your philosophy on it. We do have this opportunity right now, and it definitely does make sense. Now, the question is like, are we playing 3D chess or 4D chess? Did we go throughout that game knowing that we can kind of pull out short passes, move the ball, get a W out of it? So then those intermediate passes down the line that we can take, we eventually do take. But the tape will show make safeties come in, right? So if you're looking at it and you're like, hey, we played the Dolphins. This is a similar defense. They went dink dunk, dink dunk, dink dunk. So let's do that and pull the safeties in the second half of the year in the playoffs. So they'll play close to open up. That would be the 4D chess that I would love to see, because by play design and separation, I do believe that we can get it done there. It's just not, he didn't even pull the trigger. At one point, Josh Allen was looking at Dalton Kincaid on an intermediate out route, and he was open, but he just checked it down to, I believe it was Shakir or Elijah Moore right at the 8-yard marker. But those are open. It's doable. But
Well, I
we're
think
just not even thinking.
I think some of it could be Allen, but I think last year it just kind of felt like everything was starting to come together, and like this was probably the worst Chiefs team of the era, and the Bills team was riding hot, and then it's once again we got outcoached. Once again, it happened. I feel like after a while, even though it hasn't happened yet, I don't think McDermott's stupid. I think at some point he's got to realize, okay, or same thing with Joe Brady. Joe Brady, if he wants aspirations of becoming a head coach, he probably wants to put on another good year of film. So that means he wants to save it for when it matters, because running up 50 points against the Dolphins isn't going to get him a head coaching job. Is how does the offense look in the playoffs? How does the offense look against top defenses? And I think they look at it, and McDermott's, I don't say he's on the hot seat, but he's probably got in the back of his mind, we can only lose in the playoffs so many times before I'm gone under Allen. Like he's not, if we don't make it to the Super Bowl in the next 5 years, McDermott's not surviving it. I don't know when that would happen. I'm not saying he's going to get fired then, because I think we do get over the hump, but it's definitely in the back of his mind that he's got to get over the hump with Allen or he is gone. And Joe Brady wants a head coaching opportunity. I think they're like, all right, we got to change something up and actually try and hide some things. And I mean, you saw once the playbook opened up against Baltimore, yes, there's the argument. Me and Alex kind of got in a little bit of a discussion Saturday night about it. Was it really just Baltimore playing off coverage, or how did things set up? But you saw more deep shots. I thought there was, and you saw Allen be more aggressive. I think it's partly on Allen too, realizing maybe I can just dink and dunk my way now and take the big shots later. Because I mean, you saw the PI to Palmer, that whole shot to Palmer. He hit Kincaid a couple times deep, that deep shot to Hawes, even the deep shot to Kincaid in the first, he was hitting those intermediate throws. So I think it's just a combination effort of everyone, of just making, as long as we keep winning, it doesn't matter how it looks. Because look at the Chiefs last year. Everyone's like, oh, they're the worst 15-1 team ever, or they're 14-2, but they're the worst one seed of all time. Look at how they're winning all these one-score games. It's kind of by design. They realized that they didn't want to show everything. I mean, yes, part of it was injuries, talent deficiencies in some areas, but then come playoff time, they were prepared in these one-score games. They were prepared in these tight games. They started pulling things out that they hadn't shown before, like that, was it the diamond formation? We didn't know what to do, and they were able to get themselves back to the Super Bowl until they ran into the buzzsaw that was Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think the main reason I'm prying into this part of it is not necessarily because I'm unhappy with the way the receivers have performed, but more so like, are we going to get back into another situation like we did against Houston last year, and Baltimore to an extent, where they have multiple good corners and our guys just can't find any space to get open, and they force us into doing that. Now, we showed against Baltimore we can overcome it. That's good news. That makes me have confidence to do that. But I will say that they're having their struggles right now in general, just in the game that's on currently. And this year in general, they haven't looked all that great. That secondary, they take a little while to get going typically. So my main concern right now is not necessarily they won't have enough weapons, but more so like, will those weapons translate when teams play us a certain type of way? And will that stagnate the offense on a level where Josh goes 9 for 30 again? You know,
I think the thing that is kind of happening, which is kind of a copycat league, is our ability for Josh Allen to be a chameleon and adapt to it on a game-by-game basis. And that kind of thing. If you look at, like, right now, Kansas City had a really bad 0-2 start. And if you notice what they did yesterday, they kind of took Buffalo's formula and attached it against the Giants. Barring it was the Giants. Giants have a good front four, but they started acting kind of like how we have been early in the year. Then you look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia was heavily down by the Rams, And that's what Philadelphia does what we do. I really do think that Brandon Beane loves Howie Roseman, and you can kind of see him kind of doing a lot of things that Howie Roseman wants to do and how they're set up. The same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles. They don't press it until they had to, and then Jalen Hurts had a dynamite second half sort of thing. So the ability to adjust game by game and be a chameleon in his own form, I think they put that a lot on Josh, and he can just reset after it goes to 0 and they start planning for the next week.
So I saw this tweet yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess, or 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and I thought it was interesting. So I went back and went back through all 3 games just to see where these numbers come from, because I know a lot of people were saying that we didn't have any issues because look at our rankings, right? Look where we're ranked amongst the league on the passes, 20 plus air yards, 25 plus air yards, and plays of 25 plus yards. However, these all happened, all the passing ones, all happened in one game, right?
Right.
So that to me shows that there's a sample size, there's a skewing of the sample size. Like the sample size itself is not sufficient to state that there isn't a problem. If these were spread out in any different way across these 3 games and the numbers were exactly the same, I'd say you're right, we have no problems. You know what I mean? But the fact that it happened all in one game makes me very weary on how I feel about it going forward. Now, it doesn't mean we can't do it. It just means, hey, there's a question here still because really we're talking about a 1-game sample size, not 3, even though we've played 3 games that they use here. And I think that Cover One does this sometimes with their numbers where they skew a certain way. They believe something and they think the numbers reflect it. So they're going to share it. And I like that. It's cool. That's why I'm sharing it, because it's a really cool resource. They're a good resource for people. But what I would say is I think that it needs context. I see some people on the internet or on Twitter talking about we don't have a problem. And we might not, but we might, because we just don't know. And these numbers are not sufficient to say we're have no issues since we're ranked so high in these things. I mean, literally 2 of these happened on one drive at the end of the first half. And then the other 3 happened, I think, in the last 2 drives, if I remember right. And then one of the explosive plays that was a short pass to James Cook that was also in that game. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. That's why I wanted to share it. But yeah, I don't know. That's my fear with it. And we'll see if that changes, I guess, ultimately. And we'll see if it keeps going. I don't know. I don't know the right words for it, but we'll see if it continues to trend in a good direction or if it doesn't. I will say this. I do like the fact that as much as I kind of criticize Brady and his kind of conservative play calling at times, we run the ball 4 times in a row. Like, I don't think it's ever it's necessary to do that ever, unless you're winning the game at the very end. You're trying to run clock. But I will say this, he's good at doing what's necessary to win games. And by doing that, I don't think there's any diamond formations come out in the playoffs, to be clear. Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm just more so mean like wrinkles off of.
Yeah.
We're not getting flea flickers. We're not gonna have a flea flicker deep.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that.
The Roma Dunze down the side of the field, right?
Well,
that's not gonna happen.
Luther Burden, unfortunately.
It may.
Might.
So sorry,
maybe.
go ahead. Yeah.
But what I would say is
Josh Allen's caught like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So plan
one of them,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, like, it's a thing, but I think by default, because of how he calls games, he's not concerned with running up statistics, which may make fans upset because they want to see the proof that something can be done, right? And that's the statistics showed that if you can do it on a game-to-game basis. And people aren't happy with it in a lot of ways, in my opinion, and myself included. But
go ahead.
For me, real quick, I just want to say one difference between like this year and last year's team, not even about the receivers, is you were like, oh, what about like the Houston game? I think this year, though, our run game is better because James Cook took that next step, and our tight ends are a lot better, which we can attack the linebackers.
I agree.
And put both of those things put the linebackers and safeties kind of in flux, which takes pressure off the wide receivers because none of them are going to be getting shadow coverage because they're so focused on Cook and Kincaid, which look like our two best offensive players outside of Allen.
And I'll say this about Kincaid because I've been a little bit of a hater, but the things I did, his numbers don't eye pop right now. I mean, his numbers are good for tight end for sure, but they're not.
That's
like,
all I care about is comparative to tight
Yeah.
end. I don't need no
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey.
He's not going to be Brock Bowers
I
tomorrow.
mean,
He's just too good.
910. Projections
Yeah.
like 910.
Yeah,
That's
and that's very good, right?
very
So
good,
I'm
yeah.
happy with where he's
Yeah.
trending. But the thing that impresses me most is that, or the thing that infuriated me in the past was like Kincaid will have like a really good first quarter. He'll get like a touchdown and 3 catches, and then we won't get another catch till like late in the fourth.
Right.
That isn't happening this year. I've seen very consistent production throughout the game where he doesn't get forgotten. He doesn't allow himself to be forgotten throughout the game. He's
Right.
blocking better. He has really turned it on to the point where I think he can be, I mean, dare I say, a top 5 to 7 tight end in the NFL.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at that.
And also, Jackson
Uh,
Hawes is looking like one of the best tight end 3s in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
He's showing some receiving upside while also
You know, he reminds me. Who's he
everyone
remind?
talks about he's the best blocking tight end in the league already, and he's showing some receiving upside.
You're,
I
you're-
don't need if he gets me 150 yards and 2 touchdowns every year with being the best blocker in the league. Good
All
by
day.
me.
All
You
day.
may be too young to remember him, but he reminds me a lot of Dave Moore from the early 2000s. Remember
He's a
when
little too
Yeah.
a little too old for
Yeah.
me.
Well, Bledsoe was there, and they had
Yeah,
we signed Dave Moore from Tampa Bay at the time,
Right.
and he was just like a really consistent player. He would catch some passes, and you were kind of surprised. But he was a great blocker. He's built kind of short and stout, like he is, like kind of thickly built and 6'2.5", 6'3", or whatever. Like he reminds me a lot of him. Anyway, that's besides the
Yeah.
point.
There's an
Getting
argument.
to,
There's
yeah,
an
sorry.
argument that we have the best tight end trio in football right now.
We could, yeah. Because
Maybe.
I mean, when
Yeah.
it came to Joe Brady, so like what we were talking about with that. First of all, with Joe Brady and 13 personnel, like our 13 personnel is roughly seems like unstoppable. We're super successful in the run, and everybody knows that we're running a lot. But what Joe Brady has done has now evolved the 13 personnel into using play action as well, and I think that's what.
Yeah, I saw more
super
play action
awesome.
in the Miami game. Yep.
Yeah, saw play action in 13 personnel, but also now we have added the wrinkle of the Elijah Moore sweep on it too. So Elijah Moore coming around, we did that in the Jets game, and we did
Yep.
it in the Dolphins game as well in 13 personnel. So now when teams are looking at 13 personnel, you have 3 things that might happen. And especially with Josh Allen being able to roll out in 13 personnel, now that's adjusting for like 5 players in a
Yep.
passing form, and then James Cook as a running. So the 13 personnel is probably like, honestly, my favorite thing in all of 2025 season, even away from Buffalo Bills. I think that we have such a dangerous 13 personnel, and using that, and then again, adding Shavers into the blocking as well. I don't think he had a great blocking game against the Jets, but he had a good blocking game against the Dolphins. So now we have another wide receiver blocker as well that's kind of taking the Matt Collins role, while Jackson Hawes is now really his own person. Like, we can't say that he's taking the Matt Collins role, because Jackson Hawes has been so good that I think he should be his own individual self as a tight end 3 instead of taking somebody's job. So to add into those wrinkles, I think you can start seeing some evolution throughout the year that we're going to notice, but potentially not other teams noticing.
And I think Elijah Moore is I think we need to move to the defense here shortly. But Elijah Moore has really carved out a place for himself in the offense. I mean, he's never going to be a guy. He's not going to give you 5 targets, 6 targets a game. But I mean, he's doing a lot with his 2 to 3 a game, and he's getting the reverses. And I just think he really is like provides something that we thought Curtis Samuel was going to provide to us on a weekly basis, and he just never did. Like there were games where Curtis Samuel just did nothing, and every game Elijah Moore's done a little bit more, and I can see it starting to take form. Like he can do all the gadget stuff just as well as him. And in fact, I don't know. I feel like it's better. He's a better receiver overall too.
100%.
So,
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Curtis isn't playing for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't know the reason, right?
We don't, but
just trade him, please.
He's not
eating
hurting
me up inside. It's eating me up inside. Somebody just tell me.
Okay, so let's talk about the pass rush and the defense. I do have a question because you looked at the all 22, Randall. You know, we've seen the statistic where Russo had 6 pressures. And I think pressures are a very subjective statistic that they're not all created equal, right?
Yep.
We've got pressures that I would say the majority of pressures that are counted actually don't impact the quarterback at all. Like you're just getting your arm around and you're close. Yep. I don't know. I honestly, some of them, they all track it differently, right? So I thought I forgot he's on the field the last 2 weeks. I know he had a half a sack the other day. He had a cleanup. I mean, he got lucky. He got a cleanup because he didn't deserve that sack. You know, like what was it? Was it Logue? Who was it? Who got the other half? Was it Logue?
I
I
think
do not
so.
remember.
Yeah, I
Or
think it was low.
I think it was
either
Logue.
Low. Yeah, I believe it
Or
was low.
No, maybe it was Walker. I mean, not Walker.
Oh, I wanna
Daquan.
Daquan. Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe it was Daquan. It was
Yeah.
one of the two other D tackles. But I remember he got there late, and I was like, "Damn it!" He took away the guy's sack that he clearly created. He's gonna get a pressure and a half sack from something he didn't do, which is just like Rousseau. The Cardinals game last year comes to mind. He had 3 sacks. 2 of them I thought were just completely clean up, shoestring, not actually.
I thought Greg Rousseau was amazing in that Cardinals game because he did stuff outside of getting those sacks.
He did.
It didn't help that the
the
D end on the other side. I remember in that game, whoever they played there was like the worst containment of all time. They were just rotating. That was the game I hated Casey. That was the game where my hatred for Casey Tuhill started. Like, know how I hate Daquan Jones this year? That was me for Casey Tuhill last year.
You know, Casey Tuhill's like RAS is like a 10, right?
Oh yeah, he's an athlete.
That's why I thought Michael Hoyt as Casey Tuhill if Casey Tuhill actually know how to play football.
In practice. Yeah, exactly. The real version that we showed.
Yeah. But anyways, I remember in that game, that was like just Kyler just kept running to his left because every time he ran to Greg's side, it just didn't end well.
So what do you think of what you saw? I think Bosa popped a little bit, although didn't get a sack. I thought he was around the ball a lot.
Yeah.
I felt him. I felt Epinesa a little bit in this game, which I hadn't the first 2 weeks. Solomon, I don't care. Put Landon on the active roster. I'm done.
I'm almost positive. Even the presser, Sean McDermott he was like, Landon Jackson almost got a jersey for the Dolphins. He was this close to getting a jersey. And he said that he wants rookies to get jerseys. I think they understand our schedule before the suspensions hit. So I would expect Landon Jackson to get a jersey
against the Saints. Yeah.
My fear is this week. If you noticed, this is the one thing I think is funny, and this is like it's so Sean McDermott. Okay, for years now it's a little worse, a little more extreme this year, but for years the defense has ranked not last year but before that very highly amongst the league leaders in yardage allowed, things like that.
And then the playoffs come. Yeah,
and we find out who they really are, right? And they're not awful. They're just not great. They're not a top 5 defense, and we know that. It's funny to look at the stats right now because they're ranked really high. Yeah. The basic stats.
Which gets so annoying because then everyone's
it's really annoying because it's like the pass defense #1 in the NFL. I'm like, there's a little bit of problem with that.
It's all skew. It's the small sample skew because the Jets game.
We know what we're watching if you know what you're watching.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because everyone's like, well, Allen's always had all these great defenses. And it's like, watch them against any good offense besides Lamar in the playoffs. Yeah.
We're always ranked higher than Kansas City's defense. And they get in the playoffs and you find out that we're nowhere near as good as their defense.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And there's just
he's all the great defense. Like,
it's crazy.
I will say when it comes to like not non-stats, because you're right. Like we had 20 pressures against the Dolphins, and I probably would say 5 actually mattered, to be honest. Maybe 6. Epinesa had good pressures.
20? Are you effing kidding me?
No, 20 pressures. Well, PFF 20 pressures. Let's go. It was PFF 20 pressures, but it was 20 pressures. Don't get me wrong.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shocking. How many plays did they run? 50?
Right. Yeah. Right. Well,
I mean, they did run a lot of plays.
I felt like they didn't run that many. Did they run 55?
Yeah, 65? The Dolphins controlled the clock for a while. They had long drives, so I think that's where that came. But a lot of Rousseau's pressures came from already quick designed outs, right? So like if it was a short wide receiver screen, that left tackle's going left. Rousseau's coming at Tua, and then he's getting rid of it, right? Is that a pressure? That's not a pressure. AJ Epinesa's pressures mattered. 2 of them came on 3rd down. That was awesome. Joey Bosa got in their face, and he was strong throughout the whole entire game. Deion Walker married the run and the pass rush very well, and obviously he had the most pivotal pressure when it came down to it. I think we might have lost Alex there.
I said 50. I was watching. Yeah, did I look frozen?
Yeah. And then for a non-stat game, TJ Sanders actually looked good in the regard that once Ed Oliver comes back, he'll be in that second string depth. But he did look better than maybe what a lot of people are thinking that he's a ghost. Since he's a rookie and coming from South Carolina, I think he did need time to develop. but he's showing amazing flashes and explosion that come week 15, week 16, we're going to start seeing it, and then he's going to be impactful in the playoffs.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed about TJ, and this is just the eye test, this has nothing to do with all 22, is the one things I see with him is Ed is smaller, right? Probably plays at 280.
Yeah.
He is, because he's built like a bowling ball, he's able to kind of absorb impact and kind of roll around people and he's just kind of like an amorphous blob, where you have like TJ Sanders is linear, like very like athletic looking.
Yeah.
And that's a detriment at times, right? He doesn't have enough cushion to like impact and like absorb and stand his ground sometimes. I feel like he gets washed out a lot. And it's not because he's not a good player. I think he's just gonna have to learn how he's gonna be in the NFL, like what he's supposed to be. I mean, he's clearly a 3-tech, but what I would say is, I mean, he's an athlete. Like he's probably a better athlete than Ed is.
He needs to be involved in stunts. His lateral movement explosion is where stunts come in. So if it's Dion and TJ next to each other, man, throw that block towards the left where Dion just runs across the line, hits the center and the guard. Let TJ come in and clean it up and come right in. Like that, maybe that's the chess, right? Like Miley, you're talking about offensive chess, hiding plays. Like, man, the defense could be hiding some stuff too, especially after week 6 and things along those as well. Yeah.
I would love to see. Yeah, 100%.
I'll say too, like, go ahead. I'm sorry, Miley.
I was just going to say, I just wanted to highlight Deion Walker. He's basically exactly what he showed in the preseason. He's boom or bust. He's going to have some really high highs and some really low lows. There was a couple of plays. He got pushed 3 to 5 yards back off the line of scrimmage. Yeah. He got blown off, but then he had a couple of big plays. Obviously on that interception, he forced Tua to throw it a little early, paired with Terrell reading it. I was watching like someone do a film breakdown. The Dolphins ran that exact play in week 2 against the Patriots, where they had the flat route was like the clear route almost, and it was supposed to open up that stop route, and it was supposed to put, I think it was the cornerback kind of in it was Dorian. It's like if Dorian goes to the flat, you hit the stop. Mm-hmm. Dorian went to the flat, but Terrell's supposed to go in his backdrop and go to the tight end that's running like a corner. Terrell saw this in film and is like, screw that tight end. He's not going to even look his way. Let me go jump this stop route, and timed it perfectly. And that's just Terrell being a very smart football player. Something I think we've all known is Terrell's smart and has great instincts. It's just, can he use them at the right times to get himself in positions?
I think too, like one of the problems our defense has is we have a lot of guys that have similar weaknesses.
Right.
The linebackers are small and they get overpowered at times, right? They're really good in coverage. We've got small defensive tackles. Now, our edge guys are big guys, right? It's a complete opposite for them, but they're not. I kind of almost prefer to flip it. Like, give me more speed on the edge and more size in the middle. And I just think that there's a lot of the similar problems that are impacting the defense on a day. Like, that's why I really
has a type.
Yeah, he has a type, but like what comes along with that type with small linebackers and small D tackles often is the run defense could become a semi-problem, especially against teams that are a little bit more stout, like the Ravens. We did good against the Jets, but the reason we did good against the Jets because we didn't have to worry about the pass at all. Right. Like they were like, just stop Breece Hall and the game's over. That was it. Hold it. That was a great job by them. Don't get me wrong. But when there's any threat of the pass, in addition to that, the run defense struggles because we get overwhelmed. I feel like.
Yeah. I don't want to like fawn over Buffalo when it comes down to it, but it is interesting to know that like speed is kryptonite and power and strength is kryptonite for us, but we still end up having like the highest win percentage, right? Those two things should leave you with a losing record, but our culture kind of makes up for it and stuff. And that's where I think
Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen, of course.
And the quarterback. He can carry better than anyone. I think he actually carries better than any quarterback ever.
All day.
Like nobody has ever carried a team on his back like he does. Like he can literally will the team to win in games that were overmatched, like against the Ravens. Like he literally put the game back. He's like, I'm just going to take over.
Yeah. And this is where I'm confused at, and with the kind of fan base in a little bit, is everybody's kind of wondering when Max Harrison comes back, who is he going to take that role? We need him in that cornerback 2 role. Like I'm kind of putting a lot of stock into him not immediately. Like week 5 when he plays, he can have a down game. That's fine and things like that to get him up to speed. But I'm putting a lot of stock into his playoff ability because his speed changes our defensive back room so much, and it really changes how we can operate as a defense. So he needs to show out. I don't think we're a championship team with Trey White on as a CB2.
I agree.
I don't know.
I that's
feel
where
like,
it's like
I feel like the pass
think
rush is
he's-
better. We can hide them.
I personally, because of
Yeah.
mental reps, I don't think Maxwell's gonna play right away. But with the game, I think he needs to play is week 7 because his first game of the year should not be against the Chiefs week 8. It needs to be week
Panthers.
7, coming off the bye against the Panthers, where they're obviously not a great receiving room. Outside of Tetz looked good, but I'm not too worried about their passing attack. It's more so
Leggett
about that
looks
offensive line.
awful.
And Leggett
Yeah.
looks awful. It's more about Chuba on that rushing attack that I'd be more worried about against them. You put Maxwell in there to get his first reps. If you don't play him right away because you want the mental side.
Why not the
That
Patriots?
I'm saying if they decide not to play him against the
Okay.
Patriots, like
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying he has to be starter by week 7. Like you can't, because you're gonna need him by the time you get to the Chiefs with Xavier Worthy. You can't
Mhm.
have
For sure.
Trey White against Xavier Worthy. That's just
No,
not gonna happen.
that's
And I
gonna
don't
be
want
really bad.
Maxwell Harrison's first game against the Chiefs. Forget it. That's just they're gonna attack him.
I don't mind
Mahomes
losing that game.
And Andy Reid is.
I
I mean, I
neither.
don't mind it, but I'd rather win it than lose it. But I'm
Sure.
not gonna be like, oh,
I feel like we need
I'm
to
not-
flip the script needs to be flipped back. We need to lose in the
We just
regular
need
season.
to
be in the
not.
playoff.
We just need to not pull out all the stops to win. Show
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Show them. If we lose because we show them less, I'm fine with it. If
Sure.
we show
Just-
them less and win, though, it's great.
Yeah, that's
250
true.
yards rushing, right? Just 13
Yeah.
personnel for 75% of the time. Then you
We
don't
can
know.
do that.
But they have
anything.
except
I
that they
know.
usually have a great
Yeah.
run defense, so we can't really do
Well,
that against them.
That's my other fear is like, I think to transition a little bit, I think we should transition to like what we think the team needs to do in order to like take that next step. I think part of it, the run game, we can't let James Cook carry the ball 350 times this year. And that's what we're pacing at, right? We've got to get more from Ray Davis as a secondary
agree.
runner. Ty is not going to be that guy. He's got to be the third down back all the time. Well, not all the time, but he's got to be the third down back when he's asked to be the third down back.
Yeah.
Offensively, as long as we can as long as we can do what we need to do when we need to do it, like in the Ravens game, I have no concerns with the offense right now. With the defense, on the flip side, I think that I'm really hoping Hoyt and Ogunjobi fix whatever issues we have up front. I have my concerns that Ogunjobi would do that, but I do think Hoyt can improve the pass rush a lot.
I think Ogunjobi can improve the run defense.
Sure,
I
he
think,
can. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't know if
I'm
he's like
thinking
the
he'd
poison
probably
pill.
be. I mean, I think he'd be better than Deion Walker or more consistent than Deion Walker. I think he would hold his ground better than TJ Sanders.
Mhm.
I think he's more athletic than Daquan Jones.
Sure.
It's like I think he could come in and just be like a better Zion Logue.
Sure.
Do what Zion Logue did, but offer more upside. Like
Yeah.
he'll hold his ground, but they can make a play here or there.
Sure. Hopefully he's healthy too. I
Yeah.
have my concerns. I don't know. Michael Hoyt, I have no concern. I think he could be what
He's going to be
the de-
awesome.
the question's going to be, because I've seen him play even when he was with the Rams. I mean, he's got juice.
Yep.
The question's going to be once he starts playing really well, like I guess he's just going to spell Joey Bosa, but I feel like Groot needs to come off the field and pass rush downs when he's on the field, when he's there.
If
Well,
Hoyt can
I
show it and Groot doesn't show it by then.
Sure, but I just think he's got more upside as a legit. Like I think Russo's a better all around probably to defensive end when it comes to like what he can do, but Hoyt is just such a missile. I think that he would be great.
Or you have all three of them on the field, and you have Hoyt as that.
Or
basic
Rousseau.
NASCAR. That
No, how about
NASCAR
put-
type. Rousseau in the middle to get his arms up. Yeah.
That's honestly, dude. That in college,
Not a bad
when I
idea.
scouted
Or
him,
try
that's
this.
the only thing I saw was like, oh, he's just gonna be a NASCAR 3-tech.
Oh,
That's
or
what he
we
is.
could do.
I mean, he's
imagine
really good at
this.
it.
You put Hoyt and Bosa on one side, and you put Epinesa and Groot in the middle. Get your arms up.
Yeah, that's true.
That could.
Yeah,
I mean, that honestly could be a wrinkle you had in the playoffs.
yeah.
You can't really throw over the middle with if Epinesa and Rousseau, who are both good at batting down balls, they get their arms up. That makes it hard for quarterbacks to throw. You get Bosa and Hoyt like coming around the edge with the juice they have. That could be an interesting third down stunt they run. You throw it on like once or twice in the divisional round in the AFC Championship, hopefully.
We can also disguise in 3-4 as well. Our line is built to play 3-4 as well as 4-3. So confusing using out like as an outside linebacker with Bosa and Hoyt, because Bosa likes to come from 6-eye. Hoyt coming from that outside too, and disguising because Hoyt and Bosa dropped into coverage twice versus the Dolphins. So disguising that and showing them both on the outside as well, and the ability to drop into coverage with Hoyt is an interesting concept as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they can do a lot once they get back. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
I think the development of, like you were saying, Miley, I think the development of Max is going to be key to how good our pass defense can become. I think the safeties are going to figure it out. I do. I think Rapp, as much as we criticize him, is a smart player, other than when he does bonehead shit. But he knows the defense. You know what I mean? He knows where to be, even though he's a flawed player. He's not a completely inept player. And then Bishop playing down in the box mostly. I think he's getting way better. I can tell from week 1 to week 3, he looks way better.
Sure.
I think we're going to see a lot from that. I don't think we need them to be Poyer and Hyde. That's my point, I guess. We can get by with them at safety as long as they're like 3/4 of what Poyer and Hyde were, or half of what they are at the very least.
Timu, Poyer, and Hyde.
Like Timu, Poyer, Hyde. That's really what they are, you know?
I don't know. I don't like what I saw out of Rapp these 3 games, especially because he knocked the win out of Christian Benford. Let's start with that. Like, that's already happening again.
I thought it was worse.
I know. I think that we should poach. There's a lot of good teams right now that are 1-1, 0-2 that lost a quarterback or things along those lines. I think that we should poach a down team at the deadline for a safety that can finish, to be honest.
We could do that.
Take Curtis Samuel.
Do you think they'd go after a D tackle?
Possibly. It could be D tackle, but I think the defensive line, that I can't remember what week the trade deadline hits, but is there enough evidence to show what our defensive line is after the suspensions and before the deadline? That'd be a question.
Is there enough?
Because you know that Dermott plays conservative in that area. He wants to let it play out before he makes a rash decision, sort of thing. So I would think that maybe there's not enough time for the defensive line. But Lord, I would like a safety at the deadline. I'm just not sold on Rapp. I just don't like what I see.
Do you have anybody in mind that you think that would be a good fit?
I tried to look, and unfortunately, like the good teams that may start to sell, their safety rooms aren't that good. So I aren't that good at that point. But I'll do some digging, and I will come up with some safeties for our
Texans, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple that are flush with some guys. Pittsburgh falls off.
Be hilarious if we got Minka Fitzpatrick.
No, it's not happening.
I know it's not happening. I'm just saying.
They would be. That's so embarrassing. That'd be so embarrassing. I feel. Let's bring this up. I feel really bad. I'm starting to feel guilty about how hard I've been on Tua, even though he doesn't know who I am. I mean, I feel bad for him right now, dude. Like, everyone's turning on him. Everyone's turning on him. I've been proven exactly right about who he is as a player. I've said this since he was in Alabama. And now we're seeing it because McDaniel's been hiding his flaws. And they were like wondering why McDaniel can't adjust the playbook. It doesn't adjust the playbook because he can't.
Right.
Tua can't do anything else.
Literally can't.
So, like, you're looking at a guy who really truly is limited, and now he's been figured out fully. Like, the bad teams have figured him out now, not just the good teams,
right?
Which wasn't happening before. So now we're sitting there going, "Oh man, like his career, like he got $53 million a year, whatever, right?" But I feel bad for him. He looks distraught and looks lost. And I don't think they fully support him anymore, even in the building. I think they pretend they do. I think if they didn't pay him, they would already they'd be working out a trade for him at the deadline, you know. But I feel bad for him now, dude. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know.
Another conversation would be as Greer and Tua go, but they keep Mike McDaniels.
So
honestly, that'd be the smart thing.
It would.
I think they should keep McDaniel because I saw in the last 2 games in the press, and it's just press conferences, but I think you can glean a lot from someone's attitude about the team and what kind of leadership he's bringing to the table in these. I think he's got more of the ums and uhs and things like that because he knows he's being criticized and he doesn't like that.
Right.
But I think that like the last game, he even put some of the blame on Tua for the interception. He was like, that's got to be on the quarterback. He has never done that before. And I think if you take that pressure away from him I think part of it is he's having to feel like he has to defend Tua in order to keep his job. And now we're at a point where he doesn't have to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's like, well, no, shit, screw it. It's his fault, clearly. And I think that if they can stick with him and ride it out, he can learn how to be I know he's not going to ever be like a superstar culture leader, but he can be better. And he is a good schemer. Like if you get a right quarterback in that offense, I mean,
and he can adapt.
You can adapt it, right? Put Herbert in the offense or Love or whoever they could have gotten in that draft, and things would be way different right now.
Thank God they didn't get Herbert. Oh my God! Thank God.
He'll choke late in the year still. Don't worry.
I know. Get that 2 seed, LA. Get that 2 seed. So then
I don't. Well, okay. This is the last thing I want to talk about. The Ravens. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea for them to be losers all year because they're going to make the playoffs. There's no way they're not making the playoffs, right? Like, look at their division outs in shambles. The best thing is for them to have the 2 seed because we won't play them until the championship game if they get there at that point. The 2 or the 3 does not play the 1 ever. The 4 could. So we want them to finish ahead of the Chargers or the Colts because they're going to win their division, right? Or am I wrong? Yeah. Is that what y'all's thought process too?
Yeah, but my issue is like if you're looking at the AFC, and I know it's so early, but it's the Chargers, Buffalo, Colts, Bengals, Steelers, Jacksonville, Baltimore. So those are the front 7. Then you have the Raiders, Denver, New England, Cleveland, KC, Jets, Miami. So it seems as though if I had to take a guess, like it's probably just going to end up happening where it's 1, 2, 3 again. Probably when Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are 100%,
they'll be better.
They'll make their run, and then Baltimore would do their thing. So I expect it to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just where does LA sit? So if LA continues their thing, you're right. We probably want LA at 4, Baltimore at 2, KC at 3, and then they can handle that. So then
make LA come to Buffalo.
Exactly, and go from there. So I'm definitely. There it is. And I'm definitely with
my
you
Wi-Fi shut off on my computer, so I'm just on my phone now.
Thought you were mad at me talking too much.
So I'm definitely with you. Because like the Bengals are frauds. Steelers are frauds. Jaguars are probably frauds. Raiders are frauds.
Texans are definitely frauds.
Yeah, they're friggin' 15th.
They're not going to.
Yeah,
they're not.
So we're talking about the Colts. I think the Colts are possibly fraudulent. So you're talking about right now. The 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 8. And the 10 seed, probably fraudulent people. And let's have a conversation about that. The AFC is kind of breaking up a little bit. It's not as strong as it is. The NFC is making their run again. They're coming back into more relevancy. It's not just about the AFC. So there's a lot of fraudulent teams in there. It's going to end up panning out where the 4 best teams are Chargers, Buffalo, Baltimore, and KC for sure.
Yeah. And then Colts will be probably ahead of one of those teams just because they won the division.
Right.
So that's the fear. I would rather.
I could still see the Jags winning that division.
They could, and I think that they play this week. I think.
Yeah, I still don't think.
And Andy are in Jacksonville.
I think we
remember.
Would. Yeah, I mean,
if it's in Jacksonville, Jacksonville's winning that. They own Indy now.
Let me see. They play week 4. It's no, I'm sorry. Colts play the Rams. Sorry, in LA. So that's gonna be the first test. Yeah, that's the first team they play. That they're 1-8. The teams they played are 1-8 combined this year.
Right.
For me, as a Bills,
don't say the record for ours.
As a Bills fan.
Well, we'll see tonight.
Fan, though, my ideal like 7, like the ideal 7 seeds for like me as a Bills fan. Obviously, Bills 1. Ravens 2, Kansas City 3, Jacksonville 4, the Chargers 5, Indy 6, and I don't care who's 7. Baltimore's going to kick them anyways.
Because here's the thing. I don't think that – is it ideal then? Let's say Baltimore gets the 2. Is it more ideal to have the Chargers or the Chiefs at the 3 seed though? Would you rather the Chargers play the Ravens in the divisional round in
No.
Baltimore, or would you rather the Chiefs play?
Even though the Chargers look better,
Me too.
If I can avoid Mahomes in the playoffs at all costs, I'm going to do
Right.
it. Especially with how Herbert's looked in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we haven't even seen how good the Chiefs are going to be with Worthy and Rice. Basically, neither of them have played a snap this year because Worthy was injured on their first drive and Rice
Yeah.
has been suspended. That offense is going to look so much better with them too.
But they do kinda have-
Thornton is their wide receiver 1 right now.
They kind of do have
looks good.
they do kind of have
But
a
it's still Tyquan
Timu.
Thornton. He couldn't even
They
make
kind
the
of have
Patriots roster.
They kind of have the Timu, Worthy, and Rice right now.
Yeah,
Juju's,
but they're-
Juju's
it's
Timu, Rice, and
Yeah.
Thornton, and
heavy on the
Hollywood.
team
And Hollywood too. They're both Timu versions
Yeah.
of Xavier.
Heavy
And maybe
on the
not even
Timu,
Timu.
though.
Maybe not Timu. Maybe even better than that because Worthy to me hasn't impressed me all
agree.
that much.
Okay, well, Rashee Rice, I think, when healthy, will become
Way
a top
better.
10 wide receiver this year.
He's a
I
way
thought he
better
was on
player
track
than
to be that last year before tearing his
Oh.
ACL.
Oh,
I just
might
think
be.
Rashee Rice is
I-
that good.
full on.
The
Rashee
beginning
Rice
of last
hater. I don't want
Oh.
any positivity about Rashee
Yeah,
Rice.
I will admit I have some stock in him in fantasy, but outside of that, he was cooking last year prior
Yeah.
to tearing his ACL.
He's
He
such
was
a
a
weird
top 5
player.
receiver in football.
He's such a weird player too. I remember watching him in college and being like, "Oh, he can't separate at the next level." He just never. He
Right.
didn't really separate in college. Like he was a very pedestrian volume. Like they peppered him a lot of targets. So he got a lot of good yards and things like that. He just was never a player that I'm looked at and was like, he's going to be a Pro Bowl level player. And then they drafted him in the second round. They were right. I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah,
He's like a souped up version of Juju Smith-Schuster. That's how I look at him. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what he feels like when he's on the field. But yeah. So, all right. Last thing. Predictions for the Saints game.
Oh, Josh is great in the dome. 45-10.
It's home.
It's
Oh,
our
it is?
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Three.
How
We
many
got
home
three.
games you got in a
Three.
row? 45-10. I'll keep it the same score.
I'll
Dang.
go 30. I was gonna go 38-10, so I'll just stick with that. I mean, the Seahawks just killed them, so
I
this shouldn't be
do.
close at all.
Yeah, but I wonder too. Like, I haven't seen that like stomp on the throat kind of attitude from us this year. I do wonder if we even get
I
to
just
40.
think the
I bet
Saints are
this
that
is a
bad, though.
game Josh sits in the fourth.
And,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the Saints, I think the Saints are the worst team in football. So
Yeah. They need the
Yeah,
one.
oh, they're
seed.
awful.
They might
They're
as well.
awful.
They should tank. They don't win this.
This
game.
is not
New
a-
Orleans, don't win
yeah.
this game. Yeah, this is not good for you.
This is not a game we get snuck up
hopefully
on.
this is finally the year they realize they need a tank and blow it up. Trade Kamara, trade anything.
Well, they're
Demario
strapped
Davis.
so much. They're already
They
down the
just
road.
extended Kamara.
The thing is, eat the money to trade them. Like at this point, eat the money and just have as much dead cap as possible next year. You have to bite the bullet at some point. Bite it
Yep.
now and then rebuild instead of biting it in 3
Should've
years
done it
when you're
this year.
trying to go through the. Oh yeah, they should have done it 2-3 years ago.
2-3
but-
years ago. It's
All day.
ridiculous. I'd
All
be
day.
If you bite it now, by the time you're maybe competitive in 3 years, you won't have that money to worry about anymore. If you
I don't
just
know why teams
rebuild
do
now,
this.
but don't bite the bullet in 3 years when you want to be competitive, you're still feeling the effects of that. And you really can't take that step.
I don't know why teams do this. They do. There's lots of the Dolphins do the same thing. Like they're a better version of it.
Yeah.
Because they have better players, but
GM's just trying
like
to hold on to
once
the job.
once you see that you're not there, like it's better just to be like we're pulling the Band-Aid off. Fans will like it. For me, I wanted Buffalo to do it for 17 years. I was like, pull the Band-Aid off. Stop drafting, pick 14 and picking EJ Manuel, like 16, whatever. And like let's truly tank. Like let the players play hard, but don't put together a roster that's worthy of a 7 or 8 win team.
Well, we did that once, and then we missed out on Von Miller and Cam Newton, and then took Marcel Darius instead of Julio.
That was a bad
JJ
QB year, though.
Watt.
Yeah.
That was a bad
but,
QB year.
We could have got
Other than
Newton. Darius had one elite year. We could have got something better. We could have got like JJ Watt, Julio Jones.
And then we had another
all
opportunity.
hindsight.
I know.
Julio
That
Jones
was
would have
really-
worked
that was-
out in Buffalo.
2004, we had a chance too, and we blew it. We didn't trade up. We left it for the Roethlisberger went right before us. We took Lee Evans. You get JP on the back end,
Right.
which was just he's Timu Favre, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Whereas the Temu-
that's
we
a lot
don't-
of credit
we
to
don't-
Temu.
We're not a Timu sponsor either. So
No.
we brought him up a lot.
Well,
so
I was told I can't say
to get that
Walmart
money.
I don't want to offend Randall, so I can't say Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause they're in
Thank
Arkansas.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Thank you.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
You're learning. You're learning, Miley.
Only for you.
Before we go, what about that Arkansas game? How'd you feel about that? Randall's a big Arkansas fan.
Season's over, which is okay. There's already rumblings that Petrino is making calls to make sure that once Pittman's fired, nobody enters the portal, because you can enter the portal if a coach gets fired immediately. You have I think 7 days. So I think word on the street is already getting calls for it. So we need Pittman's gone. That's fine. I really want our athletic director, Hunter Yurachek, to be gone. We just lost to Ole Miss, and then he was in front of all the donors saying we're not a championship team right now. Like, bro, we're 2-1. Like, we just lost to 17 Ole Miss by a fumble in a game-winning drive, and now we're going to play Memphis. And guess what? We lose to Memphis because we have our athletic director talking crap about the football program that he built. Like, get out of there. I don't want you as an athletic director anymore. Get rid of Pittman. SMU coach Lashley was an ex-Razorback quarterback. He went to the college football playoffs last year. Either bring him in, go get Gruden, or go get Ed Orgeron. Throw the money and then restart the program, because that's what we need. We paid enough money that we have, 6 out of the 10 richest people live in Northwest Arkansas. They will throw bags. Case in point, basketball. We went and got Calipari. We have one of the best recruiting classes.
Mm-hmm.
We could be.
But then lost Flan to Florida.
Yeah, but
Florida's going to go back to back. Well, they're going to go back to back in basketball because they got nothing for football. So as bad as Arkansas football might be, like right now, at least Billy Napier is not your head coach. Be happy about that, because that dude is a moron.
Sam Pittman's
that dude
my
is
guy.
No.
Yeah.
Have you seen Billy Napier try to write up a passing concept? I don't think he's ever seen it before.
Hey,
we don't have a head coach in Virginia Tech.
There's no football.
He spams mirror routes all plays.
There is no football team that loses on fumble 2 days in a row if you don't have a good culture. There was 2 fumbles. Memphis fumble when all we had to do was run it at the 10-yard line. At the 10-yard line, Mike Washington fumbles the ball. Week before that, quick screen where all we had to do was score in Taylor Green,
Florida.
And then it was at Florida. We lost to Memphis.
Are
you kidding me?
Memphis in South Florida.
I
thought about you when a dude took off for like that 70-yard run when he went to the house. I was like, Randall's pissed. I was like,
Florida was ranked a top 15 team, and off the recruiting class, they had all the expectations, and they're just dumb penalties after dumb penalties. The worst passing scheme I've ever seen in my life. Bring back Dan Mullen, please. I still don't understand why they fired him. I thought he was a perfectly fine coach. He schemed up a great offense. Him with Lagway right now would do wonders. I'm not saying Lagway's played good, but oh my God, I have yet to see a good pass play schemed up by Billy Napier. It's pathetic.
Fair point.
All right, enough Florida. Virginia Tech's the worst of the 3 teams by far.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
We don't have a head coach. We don't even have a head coach, clearly. Literally, Michael Vick might come. That's where I'm going to leave it on for the show today. So, all right, guys. Everybody like, share, subscribe, leave comments. We'll respond to them later, I guess. Actually, we probably won't, so don't put any more comments after the fact. But good seeing you guys, and go Bills.
Go Bills.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.